Well, good morning. Good morning. I can barely see you all. These lights are really bright. That's okay. I don't need to look at you. I'll just talk to the air, and that works. Thank you all for showing up this morning. We appreciate you. This is the second, fifth Sunday this year that we've done a program on missions, which thrills me, of course. If you know me, that's what I'm all about. It's also an opportunity today, being the fifth Sunday, we take up a special offering. Any loose offering in the plate today, plus any checks and envelopes designated for fifth Sunday, will go to Willow, Alaska, to our ministry up there. John Redmond and his family came through Muncie. I think everybody knows them, and they're doing well, but we're going to support them in their ministry right now as he transitions into that church in his second year. We normally would have a little clicker to change slides, but it's out of commission this morning. So I'm going to have to give a signal upstairs to Brett when we do our slide change. Shouldn't affect anything this morning. We're going to have two parts to this presentation, actually three parts to this presentation this morning. First I'll be calling on Anthony Jackson to come up and introduce the team to talk about the Melting Pot programs and Northside programs. Immediately following him will be Jason Bembry. He's going to give us an update on Czech Republic activities this year and in past. And then I'll wrap up with an update on our flood recovery programs, where we stand and what's next. I think that's all I wanted to do to cover this morning, the kickoff. We need to get started early so we can get through this in 45 minutes. We'll try to have you out of here by 10:45. Anthony, everybody knows Anthony, I hope. Anthony's our director of local missions now. He's been elevated in position, but he's been around a lot. Most of you know him, and I'm going to let him introduce his team to you and talk about whatever they're going to talk about, Northside School.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Bring this down because I'm short. My name is Anthony again, and I lead local missions here. Local missions is kind of broad, but we're going to focus on Northside and the Melting Pot today. The flipper's broken, so next slide, I'm going to do this. Can you see that? Next slide. All right, Northside and the Melting Pot is what we're going to focus on today, and specifically the Food Box program and then our Northside partnership with the students and teachers there. So for the Northside partnership mission, it's been going for a few years, and a lot of you in this room have participated in that. The more I've kind of delved into that, the more I found that this church is really a missions-based church. So my heart goes out to a lot of people that wear a lot of hats in this room, that are in choir, that are in various committees, and that are also supporting, a number of missions in this church as well. So I'm just kind of overjoyed and overflowed to work here in this mission, because that means I get to pretty much work with the whole church, right? It's just awesome. So September 2024, I want to go through kind of some of the statistics there. 25% of all students in the Johnson City school system, if I can say that right, have been identified as economically disadvantaged. Right now, Northside School itself, you might have heard the term Title I school, disadvantaged economically. 25% is broad over the entire Johnson City school system. There's about 8,000 students total, 375 in Northside School this past school year. So if you think about that, next slide, we're looking at about, I didn't do that. 25% of those 375 students, or 94 students, almost 100 of those students will be considered economically disadvantaged, right? So we have an excellent food box program, and we have an excellent Northside Partnership program, and we provide about 35 food boxes average per month. And right now, Susanna has done an excellent job of rallying the troops, and this church has done an excellent job. But we've got about 50 school supply bags. Now, for those 25%, which is 94 students, or probably about 94 families, we do like 35 food boxes. That's like 1/3, right? Is my math? I don't like doing math in public. Is that 1/3? Is that right? Or 50, which is about half of that 25%. Is that right? So we're doing well, doing awesome on missions, but it seems like there's a little bit more that can be done, just as from the numbers here, just from the statistics that we're looking at here. I'm not asking for the church to dig into their pockets and give more. I'm asking just to look at what is going on around us, right? We can all ask a manager, a coworker, a golf buddy, someone else outside or around us, because that is the commission that we've been given. God said we need to go out into the world and reach others, right? Not just do everything ourselves, not just take everything onto our shoulders and make this a burden onto us, because we're a mission-centric church, but that doesn't mean we need to handle everything ourselves. So what I'm asking now is for us to go out into the world, into our communities, into our various connections that we have, and see if there's interest in helping our food box program or our Northside Partnership program help get these needs, right? Because 35 boxes a month or 50 of these school supply bags, it's great, but we can do more to help that 94 or 100 families that need there. Let's look at 8 years ago. Let's travel back in time.
80 to 90% of students at Northside Elementary in Johnson City are on a free or reduced lunch, and Principal Sharon Pickering wants to make sure no student comes to school hungry. Muncie United Methodist Church in Northside Elementary joined to pack nearly 200 boxes full of meals for families in their community who are in need. During snow days and school breaks, it can be tough for families to get their food. The food boxes will be distributed gradually through March of next year. Organizers tell us the partnership will be greatly impact the community.
Help students perform and go through school successfully. We feel like it's just paramount that they not be hungry.
I just love the families here at Northside, and they have been so great to our teachers and to me that if I can help in any way, I want to be there, and our teachers feel the same way.
Now they hope to continue this tradition for many years to come.
We do hope to continue the things we started for many years to come. We've done it once. There's no reason we can't continue to do excellent things into the future, right? Awesome. And I think that's it.
80 to 90% of students at Northside Elementary.
I don't want to hear that again. That was good. With that, we're going to transition into our melting pot. And I've got Liz Godwin here. Liz Godwin is our core volunteer. She's a medical student, but she's going to speak to us about the great things that are going on in the melting pot.
All right. Thanks, Anthony. Oh my gosh, it is super bright up here. I can't even see. So as Anthony said, I am currently a medical student at ETSU. I got involved in the melting pot when I first came here 3 years ago, and have really worked to increase the amount of student and faculty engagement. And we've actually started the day of respite here, which has provided medical care and more resources, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. But I love this mission. I hate that I'm going to graduate in a year and have to leave this place because Muncie is really a fantastic family, and the Melting Pot really means so much to me and so much to the community. I am not going to do what Anthony does to change the slides. So if you could just give next slide, please. All right. So in addition to our feeding program, so every Saturday morning and every Sunday morning, Sunday also including a service led by Anthony, we also do a lot more for the unhoused community here in Johnson City. So we pack food boxes. Those are mostly like pastas, beans, things that are not perishable, that low-income families or people on the streets would be able to take with them. And we are always looking for donations for that as well. We also do clothing and hygiene products. So many of the people down there come in and they've been wearing the same pair of socks the entire week. It's terrible. They can't care for themselves if they can't even have a clean pair of socks. So look through your closets. If there's anything that you haven't worn in 5 years, bring it down to us. We'd love to provide more clothing to them. We are especially short on men's clothing. Shoes, too, are another great thing. Please do not bring me your platform 5-inch heels. Those don't work really well walking on the streets, but anything else is really great. It's really needed. The resource fairs we've been doing for about 2 years now. We do it about every 3 months. So this brings together community organizations. It brings together ETSU, that's the College of Nursing, pharmacy, medicine. We've got some social work and PT students. And we are bringing resources together to help people in this community. That could be with things like finding jobs, finding housing, getting medical care, again, handing out things like the clothing or basic hygiene products that we don't even think about, like deodorant. Not only are you out on the streets and people are looking down on you for that, but you smell because you can't afford deodorant. Things like that are so impactful. We also have the midday missions, so these are providing food at 12 o'clock on Saturdays. We've partnered with several other churches and organizations that help provide food. There's not much for people on the streets to eat over the weekend. A lot of people go hungry, so Anthony has been monumental in getting this off the ground. I almost did what Anthony did. Thank you so much for not making me do that. So midday missions, like I mentioned, 12 o'clock. We're out here in the parking lot with food. We also provide the clothing, the hygiene products while we're out there. You could help by giving any of those donations if you want to come out and just be there and help us and spread love to this community. That's also great. Yesterday we had street tacos. Yeah, so it's some pretty good food. All right, next slide. Oh my gosh, my eyes are worse than I thought they were. I need a new prescription. All right, so we also have an upcoming health and wellness fair on July 19th. We are very lucky that Providence Medical of Kingsport is partnering with us for this. They provide free medical care, so that's labs, seeing a provider, getting prescriptions for uninsured patients. So if you know anyone that doesn't have insurance, they are welcome to come out on this day, spread the news. We would love to provide more care. They also are able to set up appointments free of charge or on a sliding scale for things like mammograms, DEXA scans, pap smears, so many services that a lot of low-income or unhoused people in our community don't get, or substance use treatment. So awesome that they are partnering with us. I'm very thankful for that. We're also going to be providing lunch that day at 12 o'clock, and we're going to have the same community organizations helping us here. So things like mental health, substance use treatment, housing. Arch will likely be here, I think. They can help people get IDs on the streets, because if your wallet's stolen and you no longer have an ID, how are you going to get connected to any resources? And then American Job Center will be there, so connecting people with jobs. We are looking for volunteers for this. We always need more people. So if it's something you'd like to get involved in or want to donate to, let Anthony know, or check out the website. Next. Is that all of it? All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Am I handing it off to you, Dave, or? All right. Perfect.
I, for one, am not even aware of all that goes on with the local missions. We appreciate all you all are doing to keep that going and get us all energized. Next, I'm going to call on Jason Bembry. I can't see you. There he is. He's going to give us an update on the Czech mission team.
Good morning. I'm going to ask Jack, my son, to come up. He's part of our trip this year, too. I just want to take 5 minutes of your time, and thanks, Dave, for letting us kind of piggyback on the local missions updates. We're the Czech missions team. There's a few more of us, but a few of us were out of town this weekend, so could not be here. Our team this year, my name is Jason Bembry. This is Jack Bembry, my son, and Zach Wilgus, and Christina Webb will be our other member this year. Czech Missions has been going on since 2007, and this church and many other churches in the conference has been focused on an outreach in the Czech Republic because there's just so few Christians over there. They have about 10% of their population that profess faith in Christianity, and of that 10%, the vast majority, probably 8 or 9%, are Catholic. So there's just not much of a presence over there of Methodists or really any kind of Protestant denominations there. So since 2007, Muncie has been sending a team, and I think the count is somewhere between 40 and 50 Muncie members have gone since 2007. I've been leading the group since 2017, and every year we just are delighted to go over there. And what we do is we have a sports camp. It's centered on softball, and so we play softball with the kids who come to this camp. And the local church there that we partner with, it's a local Methodist church, it has a membership of about 30 to 40. And they have they started out with a preschool years ago. And the camp was designed to connect with families in the community, to encourage them to send their kids to the Christian school. Well, nearly 20 years later, they have grades pre-K to grade 4. And so the school has really expanded. And I think the camp has been maybe a small part of again, making that connection with the community there. So for 6 days in the middle of the summer, we go over there and help run this camp. And the parents like it because the camp is the cheapest option for a summer camp in the region. So that's great. We get to connect with a lot of families who might not have the money to go to nicer camps. So that's one thing that I think that we help with. The parents also like it because they want their kids to practice their English with native speakers, and that's a big draw for the camp itself. And plus, the softball's kind of fun too because it's a novel game, a novel sport over there. Not many people play it, and so the kids come out, and we get all measure of kids. Some kids have hardly ever thrown a ball, for example, and other kids are big hockey players, for example. But they come and we all get together, and every day after lunch, all of us sort of give a testimony centered on the theme of the camp. And we try to share stories with the kids that hopefully inspire faith, tell them a little bit about the Bible, tell them the story of God's love for the world. And our hope is that's going to plant seeds in the hearts of these kids, because most of them come from families who have never even really talked about the Bible, talked about faith. It's just not something that is culturally acceptable over there in a general sense. So we just want to say thank you, and as always, we're just very grateful for Muncie having this mission over the years, and yeah, my family has gone a number of times. Family members have gone, and we've really enjoyed it. And I know a lot of people here have gone and enjoyed it as well, and we've been able to make some really deep connections. Final thing I'll say is that it's been wonderful to see the kids come to this camp and kind of grow up. And we've kind of watched these kids grow from age 5, which is the youngest who come to the camp, who are now in their 20s. And we've actually got 2 of the kids who were former campers who have come back to the camp to help us be leaders in the camp. And 2 of them are going to come back with us after the camp this year and spend some time here in Johnson City. So I'm hoping we'll have many opportunities for you to get to know Katya and Matej. They're going to come and live with us for a couple months. And Katya is going to be working, doing some job shadowing at Watauga Physical Therapy. So she's going to be doing that for about 2 months. And so, yeah, hopefully we'll get a chance for you all to meet some of these folks that have been a part of this mission and have gotten a better sense of who God is and God's work in the world. So again, we're very thankful. And if you have any questions, stop me. Or my name is Jason Bember. You can contact me through email and the like. It shows up in the messenger from time to time. But yeah, delighted to answer any questions you might have. So thanks.
At one of our SIN team meetings a couple years ago, Neil Francisco made the comment that, Muncie has a heart for missions. And that registered with me in a way that I wasn't expecting. But in the last couple of years, that has been confirmed to me over and over and over. And we've adopted that within the SIN team and some of the missions literature you'll see that Muncie has a heart for missions. And I echo what Anthony has said and what Jason said. It just permeates the church, and we are so grateful for that. We're so grateful for the opportunities that God has presented to us through the missions programs here. Before I get into the actual presentation, I was going to mention, when you're leaving, if you haven't already got a copy of the handout, I printed the slides, you can take with you because there's a lot of information in there. There's a little table over here by the window that has some little potted plants and some big cards. These are products of Vacation Bible School last week. The kids painted the pots and planted the pots. They painted on Monday, planted on Thursday. We had about 60 or 65 of those that we did. And then there's 6 cards over there that are pretty large. We took part of a poster board and cut it in half. Those were the pre-kindergartners, decorated those. Those will be delivered to our 6 families, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So the work of VBS Kids is going to go into the community in a really cool way, Okay, I'm going to try this and see how it works. You may remember back this spring in March, there's a small coalition of churches in the area that got together and decided we're going to help the Emberville community. It was led pretty much by Caleb Frazier and Chris Brown, who will be coming here, to raise money to build the ASP homes. There was a requirement that each home required $50,000 to turn over the mortgage, completed paid mortgage to the families. Muncie made a significant contribution to that. I think the number was $34,000, which is amazing. Our Easter offering went to that. And that got us into the club, if you will, the coalition. But this is a picture of the check presentation to Appalachian Service Project. Took place on the front porch of one of the homes that we're sponsoring. That is a gentleman from Mayfair, and his name just left me, presenting a $300,000 check for those 6 homes. So that has really connected us with those families. The coalition members, the group that makes up that coalition are Muncie, Jonesboro United Methodist, First Methodist of Johnson City, Colonial Heights, which we all know is Chris's home church, and he will be coming here, Mayfair United Methodist Church, and Camp Bays Mountain and ETSU Wesley Foundation were all contributors and partners in that little coalition. We've done a lot over this last several months. I think I missed a slide here, I think. We've done a lot since the flood recurred last fall. The immediate response was flood buckets and emergency supplies that they needed immediately. Since that time, we have done a lot of other support, but in kind of a discoordinated way. The Flood Recovery Task Force and SEND team and missions has decided we're going to stay committed to the flood recovery effort, but move into the next phase. The next phase is going to look a little different than what we've seen before, but I think it's going to be very impactful for a lot of us and for the church as a whole. This next phase is, getting ahead of myself. This next phase, we're going to try to get more directly involved in the 6 families whose homes we helped fund. I've met them all with one exception. Been to a couple of their homes a couple times. Chris knows them, Chris Brown knows them, Caleb Frazier knows them well. We've decided to take on a heavy responsibility for them to get settled into their new homes. And that'll be a big part of what we're doing. We're going to hopefully partner with some other churches in the area like Colonial Heights, like Wesley, maybe the Wesley Foundation, First United Methodist Church. That's yet to be determined who will be part of that. We want to partner with them so we can combine our resources and do even more. We've been given a golden opportunity. These families, all the families that are being housed through ASP, were given case managers to kind of track their progress and track their needs. A lot of that case management function turned over to the Washington County Recovery Group, Long-Term Recovery Group, of which Muncie is a part. We called them to find out what it would take for us to take on more responsibility with those 6 families. Found out they were running short of case managers, so they asked if Muncie would be willing to pick that role up. So we're grateful and glad that we're going to be able to pick up the opportunity to be the case management function for those 6 families who we've begun to know already. And we're going to, the goal is to identify their specific needs for their specific homes. Some of them are already in their homes and some are not yet in their homes. They're coming up in the next few weeks. We're hoping that in this way we can provide an opportunity for everyone at Muncie to be involved in some way. There will be financial needs. There will be needs for things like appliances, furniture, linens, things all over the board. Just what you would think to move into an empty house. And they all came in empty-handed other than what has been given to them through these charitable organizations in the area. We were very fortunate that fortunate in a way that we decided we couldn't do that as a team, as a whole. We needed some very specific points of contact, and we were very fortunate that 6 people have volunteered to step up for that role as shepherds. They will be our point of contact with each family. Each one will have its own family to stay in touch with. And those 6 shepherds, some are in this room, I think, but are Trish, next slide, please. Trish Patterson, Cheryl Maynor, Sharon Pickering, Ruby Beck, Carlene Eastridge Christian, and Jamie Johnson. I think most of you know most of them, if not all of them, but they're just perfect for the role because they're compassionate, they're caring, they want to be involved in a personal way. So that's going to really make this work well. The families, the 6 families. This is a list of the families by name. I've got a little bit more information in the next few slides, but the first 3 names on that list you'll see are all located on Hall Road. That is their new location. They were all related to each other, family members, 3 generations worth. The grandmother lived in one home, her daughter and part of their family lived in the second home, and a third relative lived in the third home, all side by side on the bank of the Nolechucky River in Bumpus Cove. They lost all 3 homes are gone. They lost everything they owned. They barely got out. Their property is not even there anymore. There's no place to build a home on those locations anymore because it's all gone. Thanks to the church, the Baptist church in the Jonesboro area, they were given property on Hall Road. So all 3 homes are being rebuilt side by side on Hall Road so they can be together as a family again. It was a challenging site because it's on a hill and it's way above water level, way above water level. But it's a blessing that could happen, I think, in so many ways. Next slide, please. I'm going to real quickly run through the current status of these 6 families, let you see some of them. I hope we'll get to see more of them. We have some initial plans to bring the families here in the fall, if we can make it work out and it's not a problem for them or embarrassing for them, bring them here, have something akin to a linen shower, a shower of sorts where we can identify specific needs they have at the time, and then we'll flood them with gifts and gift cards and things like that. But actually get to spend some time with them, get to know them personally, which we think is really important. They're not just statistics, they're not numbers, they're not names on a page, they are real people. We'll hear their stories and get to know them a whole lot better. All right, the first family is Megan Milhorn and her husband Aaron and their little boy. They are in one of the first homes that was started on Hall Road. It has not been completed because their property was a real challenge to work on. It was on the side of a hill. They ran into rocks. It was completely wooded, so they had a lot of trees to move out. So it's taken a while to get the property cleared before they could even start the home. Right now, they're anticipating that they'll be in their home next month in July. Actually, this month of July. Next slide, please. Patsy White and Rhonda Mango live in the second house. That's yours truly there. We went down to visit her with a writer for the Holston Call, the newsletter that the Holston Conference puts out. And she did a wonderful story on these families. Met, I think, most of them. But this was a photograph she took. That's Patsy. I think she's one of the oldest in the group. They're all blessed to have homes. They all have said, nicest place we've ever lived. They started with something brand new, and they're literally starting from scratch. They didn't have anything in the homes. They've had to rely on donations and gifts and benevolences to get in. Her home should be completed within the next couple of weeks, and they'll get moved in. Next slide, please. This is Emma Smith. Emma is, I think, the oldest of the family group there. She was the first to get moved in, first of all 6 families. She was moved in the last time I was down there. Delightful lady. That's her son, I believe, his son and his wife and daughter. And they live together. They're all crammed into the home. These are nice homes, but they're not large. Very functional and very well built. ASP has done a remarkable job with the homes for these families. But they are in and settled. That's a picture of them getting their home keys presented to them by ASP, which is a big day for them. So we'll be trying to help them get more settled into the home as the days and weeks go on. Next slide. This is one of our favorites. David Harris and Carolyn Garland. Do you all know where the old Chucky's Trading Company was along the river? Down in Old Chucky. It's that's where the rafting companies would take out. It's right next to a great big rapid that used to be there. It's now washed away. Anyway, they lived right on the river, very, very close to where all those tomato farms are along the Nola Chucky. You're probably familiar with that. Anyway, David and Carolyn, they have nicknames. They're called Catfish and Gator Bait, and we affectionately refer to them by their nicknames most of the time now. We've gotten to know them pretty well. But anyway, they barely got out of their home. A neighbor across the street came running across as the floodwaters were coming up. He was running through water. Before they could get him from the house into the truck to get him out of there, the water was above her knees and coming up rapidly. He had a four-wheel drive pickup truck, and he just kind of drove around the corner and got to a little knoll that was just a little bit higher than the water. And David said he sat there in that truck and watched the water come up, watched his house lift off the ground, wash down the river, and wrap around a tree. Everything they owned. They just barely got out with their lives. So they had nothing, absolutely nothing. They are a delightful couple. He's a Vietnam War veteran. He was in the same time frame I was in the military. So we had some good times catching up. And you may remember some of the update and messenger articles, the picture of a couple guys standing in front of a shed. That was a shed some Muncie members helped build for him so he could have a place to put the stuff. They were living in a camper on the property. They needed a place to move that furniture until they could get it into the home. But Gator Bait and Catfish are some of our favorites. They've been favorites of all the work groups that have gone down there. ASP, so they are just one of everybody's favorites. They were moved in week before last, excuse me. This is a little outdated, but they're now in their homes. That's David holding his house keys, and I was there on Saturday and they are thrilled, and they both made the comment, this is the best place we have ever lived, and they've done a really nice job getting it started. Next slide, please. I don't have pictures of the families for the next two homes, but these are two of the homes. I've met Betty, but I have not met the one after. Their homes are nearing completion. They had some delays during the construction process, but they expect to have them into their home within the next week or two. It's right as you come down I guess it's 81, Route 81, from the bridge. It crosses the river there, and I'm not doing a very good job explaining it, but they were on a little higher ground, almost got missed by the flood, but it took their home anyway. So they got a brand new home there, and they're just waiting on some final HVAC work and some sheetrocking, I think, to be completed. Next slide. And then Chris and Amy Price, their house was located right beside the three family members earlier in Bumpus Cove along the river. Their house is totally gone as well. They chose to rebuild on the same site because they had some soil left. It's still close to the river and a lot of trauma associated with that. Their house is nearly complete. One of our work teams that visited from ASP actually worked on this house, and it sat for a while, just logistics issues and some difficulties getting things completed, but it is near completion, and they're anticipating they will be in July as well. Okay, next slide. Next phase. This is where we're going to offer opportunities and provide information for everyone on what we can do to help those 6 families get moved in and settled. They have different needs. Every family's got a different need. They're further along in the process. Homes are empty. Some of them had a place to get some furniture donated and they've stored it, but most of them are starting off with very little. David and Carolyn are still receiving gifts from all over the country. They had a work team, a couple of ladies, actually about 6 ladies came down a week ago and did some painting, did some decorating in their house, went out and bought things for them while they were here. So their house is slowly coming alive and beginning to feel more like a home. But we will be offering opportunities on ways you can support this initiative. And Trish Patterson is going to be the lead for all of our recovery work. We work hand in hand on that, but she's the primary lead, so be expecting to hear some information from her. We will have opportunities for hands-on service projects, things like landscaping and painting and wallpapering and hanging curtains and building small things like ramps. But there will be plenty of opportunities. We'll be advertising those over the next several weeks as the summer progresses. Next slide. How can you help? Just keep an eye on the messenger and the updates. Talk with Trish, talk with me, talk with any of our 6 shepherds that are going to be working directly with these families. Get plugged in. If you'd like to be part of one of the groups that focuses on a single family, that'd be awesome. But there'll be plenty of opportunities, so keep an eye on that. We have a website set up on the Muncie webpage that allows you to go in and let us know what your interest is. You want to donate financially, you want to buy appliances, things that you'd like to contribute and donate, linen, sheets, blankets, pillows, or if you'd like to be involved in one of the hands-on projects, you'll have an opportunity to express your interest there, and we will rely on that to draw resources in to do the work as we identify the needs and how we're going to respond to those. If you need more information on any of this, please don't hesitate to call us. Last slide, I think, is just, I'm wrapping up. I've got time for a few questions. Be sure, if you didn't get a handout, there should be extras around. There's a couple on the tables in the back, but please take those. They've got a lot of good information in them. You're welcome to use and take with you. And with that, if you have questions, we'll be glad to take those on any part of the program right now. That's a good comment, and we'll certainly take that. And we've got, we're hoping to keep our message center, the Missions Message Center, updated with current things like those needs identified. And but we'll try to have more information out there where you can find these items for sure. It's a good idea. Thank you. Other questions? I can't see your hand, so just speak up. Really? Well, if there are no more questions, we'll be around to answer your questions. You might want to come talk to us for a few minutes, and we'll get you out of here 4 minutes early. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed it.